Previously on 2 Past Midnight.
Anything interesting?
Just personal effects.
I found 3 Bibles on the other guys.
I got one here.
There is no particular evidence to determine where Keanu would have gone from here, but it does look like he has made it away from here.
All right, Captain, where do you think he was headed?
We're also 30 kilometers away from Zwoleń.
I know. I see it.
Which is where you and your group was headed.
Well, at least me.
Yeah, we're just outside of Zwoleń, and I said I'd get you there. That's a promise I intend to keep.
Where we left off was Chris had just rolled a recon roll, and you guys were headed north towards Zwoleń.
And I think I only got 1 success. Is that right? Or did I get 2?
I think it was 2. It was 2, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Just because I forgot to make a note, but I'm pretty sure I gave 2 of the lever actions to civilians and still have 2 left of the 4.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do remember something with you equipping.
Yeah, and you guys have a couple civilians with you, like 3 of them. One of them has an AK, and the other guy that has the AK is back at the village still, with the doctor, who also stayed back because you guys were given the option on bringing him with you or not, and you were like, "We don't need a doctor," and yeah.
Would I have given them reloads or just given them full weapons? I
That's
wouldn't
up
have
to
given
you.
them reloads. Okay, I'm keeping the reloads then. That's what I figured. I just gave them full weapons.
Okay. I mean, the one's with you, so you know.
Oof.
But yeah, so where we left off, you guys had gone 1 hex and then 2 hexes actually to the northeast, and yeah, Chris had got 2 successes on his recon roll, and you guys aren't quite at Zwoleń yet. It would still take 1 more shift to get into that hex, but you guys don't seem to have noticed anything. What do you want to do? It's I think that was the day. We're in the day shift now. That was the day shift getting to here.
So, weather
Yeah, weather.
and survival to get there and recon?
Weather's a 5.
Or we're on a road hex, actually.
Still cloudy. Yeah, you don't need a survival roll if you're on the road. So
If we claim to be on the road, there's extra encounters that involve road.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So that's no
that
survival, but downside is extra encounter cards. Yes.
yeah,
That's the meta of on-road versus off-road.
yeah.
You're in charge, Captain. What are we doing? Are we staying on the road or are we going cross-country?
No, we would stay on the road. We're just gonna... We're so close.
Okay.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you go parallel to the road, I'm cool with that. Like, you be off road and kind of still use it. You know what I mean? As long as you're still following the general path of the road.
Yes.
But then it would still run into road encounters at that point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So,
Road.
roadhouse.
All right. So, recon roll, Chris.
Okie dokie.
And this will be the evening shift, and it's still cloudy. So, half the evening shift to get there.
6 and a 7.
We got 2
2
successes. All right, you're coming along, and you get to where it tees and heads north, and you know that Zwoleń is up that way. And you start headed towards the north, or at least Maric knows it's like this general direction because he's been up this way before. And as you're getting closer towards town, you start seeing some fields that look like there's actually crops being grown in it, like early, stage crops like potatoes and shit like that. But you can tell that like someone's actually working this field, not like actively at the moment, you know what I mean? But you can see that someone is growing crops on these fields.
Production phase.
also in the middle of the field, you see what looks like a crucifix with someone on it.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Am I far enough away where I don't freak the fuck out?
You're in the
Yeah.
hex.
You're not. No, he's not in the same hex. That's. I mean,
Technically,
it just says same hex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're in this.
You are within 10 kilometers
You're
of
within
us.
10 kilometers of a cross. The fork in the road made you. Like, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but
My spidey
no,
senses
you're
are
not
tingling.
close enough that it would affect that.
So he sees that and he's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. These motherfuckers. Okay. He turns around and walks back towards the group, specifically Maric.
And from the way everything looks, it almost looks like for a second there, you're like, is that a scarecrow? Right. But like when you glanced at it through the binoculars, like it's a actual like body that's hanging on it.
Hey, Maric, can I talk to you for a second?
yes. What is it, Murph?
Well, it looks like good news is they're starting to grow crops in these fields. Bad news is they have a scarecrow that seems to be a real person that's strung up on a cross.
Shit. Are you sure this is a real person? Is not just, clothes from maybe dead man they put up there? Clothes maybe look,
No, I think it's
Bloody.
an actual dead man that's on there.
Shit.
And yeah, I'm gonna let you lead the way, because I'm not gonna focus my attention over there. Because the whole, I kind of lose my shit.
The what?
Yeah, me and Cross is just, it's not a good thing.
The crosses? Did they make you go crazy or?
A little bit.
Huh.
Ask Emmett; he can tell you all about it.
That is unfortunate, my friend.
Or
Hey, guys, what seems to be the holdup? We moving or not?
Well,
he can tell you.
apparently there is men on cross. Is problem, which seems like problem.
You mean like those flock people?
Yeah, I have heard of them crucifying people. Is probably related to them.
It's like
Or
a
it could
real,
be-
real life scarecrow.
Well, I believe the where there's one, there's a lot of them. So I'm going to say we just don't go here.
Well, I mean, I would say that we don't need to go here, but
Well, we don't want Skippy here to go here because last time he tried to punch an old lady when he saw crosses, and if there's 100 of them out here with 13 dead people on each one, we're just screwed.
well, we're going to keep Murph back, and I think me and you should hang back as well. I think if we stay here closer to the T, we'll go back. We'll set up a camp, and we'll let you and these other Polish. You guys should be fine to go in. See if you can't find your daughter, and we'll wait. We'll give you 24 hours. And if we don't hear from you, we'll move on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if she is still there right now.
Yeah, I know, but I can tell you this much: I know it's not going to be safe for me and my men going in there. We're going to be more of a liability than a help at this point. So I think if we let you and the other three here take a looky-loo around, you might have a better chance.
That is probably a good idea. Okay.
Eric, I can tell you about the whole cross thing tonight.
Oh, you mean about him being batshit when he sees a cross? I'll tell you about that.
If I am back, we will see what happens, huh?
So you're going in, recon a little bit, try to find your relatives, and didn't bounce?
But like I said, if he don't come back in 24 hours, we're bouncing. So if he wants to stay, that's fine.
And you are going to, if after 24 hours, you will continue back to village, huh?
I don't right know if we know where we're headed. Our next objective was to get you here. So once we make camp, we'll figure out our next move from there.
Either way, you're coming back out, or are you staying in if you find people?
I will let you know if you are still here. But if after 24 hours you have moved, I cannot tell you.
Well, I had an agenda here as well.
There is no contingency for contingency, is my point. So where, after 24 hours, where do you go?
Well, gentlemen, where are we headed? Trail in Keanu's gone cold. Last we knew, everybody was trying to head northwest. So I'd say maybe we head back that way. Maybe check out what the X is on our way by.
You know I don't give a shit. Where you go, I go.
I appreciate it, but like I said, we ain't got much to go on. So I think if we head back, we'll start heading northwest. But I think we'll probably try and scope out what that X is on the map that our British friend left us. So
if so many people are after it, it must be something. Research facility with disease, yeah?
Maybe.
That's my working theory.
It could be a safe zone. I mean, it could be a total bluff on a map, and the 3 X's actually mean something completely different. And it's a centralized location within the 3 X's. To just mark it on a map seems a little too obvious for the people we were dealing with.
But the shepherd's flock seem intent to get a hold of this thing.
Well, I understand that, but that's why I'm saying I don't think that our friend from what seemed to be British intelligence would have just been carrying around a map with a obvious X on it of this is where this facility is.
And my phone.
They seem smarter than that. So
it's clues, but the fact that
so
Russians have same map.
Right. So there's something going on, but we ain't figured out what the hints are yet. So we'll go see what the X is.
So wait, the crazy cult people want the X's too?
I think everybody wants a little piece of these X's, but...
And my former friends were acting very suspicious about it, Maric. You remember that?
I do remember that.
So I would say that the X on the map here, furthest to the north, that's the one we'll be headed to after we leave here if you're not back in 24 hours.
Okay. I'll tell you what, we're going to probably stop by that little city there on the way, do you think? That
I think that's
random place?
I think that's just ruins.
There's still things there. There are things to find in ruins still.
Mm-hmm.
I say we're going to fall back to that for a day and then head to the X. So if we get all clustered up here, that's more than likely, I think, what's going to happen.
Okay, so raid them.
Yep. We'll be headed to the X via, whatever you want to say.
Do you have everything you need?
I think so. I have full magazine for SVD. Am I taking hunting rifle or no?
I was going to give you a hunting rifle. If there's somebody there to trade, we are still in need of some ammo for the M60.
Okay, I will see what I can do.
That's been our major plan. You should be able to get 300 or so for it, but I mean, whatever you got to do for deal and whatever you got to get, where that's just kind of been our major need at the moment now that we're stocked on food and water. We've just got one guy who tends to use a lot of ammo, not having a bulk of it.
Okay.
So I'll toss you one of these here. It is full. It is full in. So feel free to use it if things hit the fan. But if you stumble across some sort of shop or if there's sales there and they can handle some of that, that's our major need.
Okay. All right. I will let you know what I find.
Be careful out there.
And Maric takes off.
All right, so the rest of you are going to
We're gonna
make
fall.
a camp
We're gonna fall.
and try to hide it.
Yes, we're gonna fall back closer to the T in the road.
Okay. All right. If you're whoever's making the camp, roll me a survival roll to make the camp and a recon roll to hide it.
Somebody want to aid me on making the camp, if possible?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, because we're not doing
Somebody
anything.
else going to be on watch while he's doing that?
Yep, Bruce.
I will also be scavenging while I do watch.
Okay. So then roll a survival roll. And don't worry about rolling a recon roll.
Scavenging or scrounging?
Oh, sorry. Yes, grounding. Good call. You know me.
All right, so you
How do you
need
spell Maric?
survival roll with a +1.
Yeah.
7 and a 3, so just 1, but made the camp.
Mm-hmm. And then a recon roll to hide it.
9 and a 7. I'm rolling a lot of 7s.
All right, so 2 successes.
Yep.
And you're off scrounging, Kyle?
Yep. Did you say recon or survival?
Survival, if you're scrounging.
I got a 1.
A1?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, okay. I mean,
You scrounge a rattlesnake.
you
I
don't
didn't push it. I didn't push it. That's just a first roll one.
You're wandering around the road looking to see if anybody dropped anything off the side of the road.
Hey, that's how my Canadian found a hat.
That is how your Canadian found a hat.
They've all been goblins.
Blue Jay's hat.
What's the one thing they have in common, Brian?
Kyle. They're all Kyle. Malkovich.
And yeah, so you're wandering around during the evening trying to look to see if you can find anything. Brian and Murph and Emmett are making a camp. 2 successes, right, Chris? Is that right? 2?
On hiding it, yes.
Yeah. That's the only part that really matters. The other one's just 1's fine. And Maric is going towards the town. Maric, as you start headed towards the town, same thing, like you'll see another field where there's obviously someone's, starting crops, like maybe cabbages or potatoes or carrots or something along those lines. Like you can tell that like people are trying to grow food here, and you'll see some livestock. Roll me a recon roll.
4?
Observing,
Okay.
because you're your own scout.
Yeah.
So any encounter you go into,
Does he get any pluses for the people with him?
did they go with
Yes,
you?
the other Poles
Yeah.
went with him.
The 3 civilians.
Okay. All right. No, because that's not how that works. It's just the person with the highest one rolls.
I tried, Jeremiah.
No, thank you. Thank you, Bryn.
Yeah, not how it works.
I got a 10 and a 2.
Okay. So up ahead a little ways, and the same thing as you're going along, like you'll see a field and there's like a crucifix and it's like somebody on it. You know what I mean? And like you're going along a little ways and another crucifix and there's somebody on it. And you're going up and you start getting closer towards town and there's like this area that looks like it's been dug out as you're walking by, and you kind of look over and you can see that there's like bodies in this hole outside of town, right? Like a mass grave type situation. And flies flying around. And up ahead you can see a checkpoint going into the town. And you can see a couple people like set up with like, sandbags on the road, but you see them before they see you.
Point of order. Do I take stress from seeing the crucifixes and the ditch full of dead bodies?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I forget how that works with the...
Point of stress, we'll call it.
Okay. I thought you rolled a coolness under fire for it, or no?
I thought... Yeah, sure. Roll coolness under fire. Why not?
Okay.
I can't remember if you do or not either in these kind of situations. But you don't always whenever you take stress, but we'll say yes in this one.
2 and a 5. I take a point of stress.
So yeah, point of stress.
That sucks.
And you see a checkpoint going into the town up ahead before they see you, and it's what the hex is this one?
Act as Polish as possible.
I mean, fortunately, everybody with you is Poles, so you should be good. Roll me 2d10, Jeremy.
10 and a 5.
All right, so it's about 150 meters ahead when you see it, just because of the way the road is and the trees and shit like that. By the time you see it, it's about 150 meters up where the checkpoint is.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry. No, 300 meters ahead.
300 meters? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the whole point was to go in there, and Maric looks back and goes to the other civilians. He goes, "Remember what we talked about. Nothing about the Americans. Okay?"
Of course, nothing about the Americans. And the ones that are with you, if I remember correctly, are Felix, Patricia, and Emil are the ones that are with you.
Okay. And we head up.
All right, so you start heading up towards the checkpoint, and as you do, they notice you, obviously, and you see them kind of like raise up their weapons. One of them appears to be in a Polish uniform, military uniform. The other one's in civilian clothes, and another one is also in civilian clothes. So there's like 3 of them, and it looks like it's kind of a mix of like military and civilians up there.
Okay.
But they have AK-74s.
Good evening. I'm traveling up from Krakow. Nope, that's not right.
Whatever.
Take 2.
Traveling up from Krakow, yep.
Traveling up from Krakow I'm going to Zwoleń to see my daughter. She is Amelia Grubich.
Grubich?
Grubich.
Come up. And they
Moves
start
forward.
to have you come up, and he's like, wait over here, please.
Okay.
And then, you see him saying something to one of the other ones, and that one leaves and heads back into the town. And so now you can look around and you see that there's actually a couple other people get up, and they're they were kind of on a break, behind different areas, and they kind of get up and move into positions on the other side of this sandbag barricade wall on the road. And they have you all waiting off on the side of the road at the moment. He's like, you said your daughter is Amelia Grubich?
Yeah, my daughter is Amelia Grubich. I'm her father, Maric Novak.
You're coming up from Krakow, you say?
That's right.
If you would, please take your weapons and put them over there by the tree. And you see this tree off on the side of the road, and he's like, just set them over there, lean them up against the tree.
Okay. So he goes and he places the 2 rifles down and takes the sidearm out, lays it next to the tree.
As you do, on the road, you hear a sound. You hear from inside the city. You hear sounds like hoofs on the pavement, and you see a group of men ride by, headed south along the road on horseback. There's about 20 of them or so riding out of town on horseback.
Fun.
Weapons. I mean, they're not dead sprint, they're in a hurry to get somewhere, but they're headed out of town.
Does the shepherd's flock carry any markation on them to signify to other followers that they are Shepherd's Flock?
Not really.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Curious.
Not really. Yeah. They don't really have a
They're
thing.
all carrying that stupid Bible.
Yeah. Not necessarily, no. You haven't noticed anything up to this point.
Okay. That was a player question and not so much a character question.
Yeah, I know. And I was kind of thinking about it like from a more modern, medieval standpoint. And,
Okay.
Yeah. But no.
I don't know if they had like armbands or fucking hoods or whatever. I don't know.
No, not so much. But yeah, so you see them, this group, ride out. And they're all in robes, and they look very, religious.
They all look like Rasputin.
Flashing neon signs that say, "I'm an asshole."
That's Murphs.
That's fair.
Got him.
And a few minutes go by, and that same kid that went in to like go relay whatever message comes back and like says something to the gentleman you've been there talking to, and he's like, "All right, come with me, just you though."
Okay.
And like they keep the other three of them out there and kind of watching them, and he starts escorting you into town.
This feels like going into the governor's city on The Walking Dead. That's how this feels.
Aquariums full of heads.
They take him to this building in the middle of town, and you can see people around. I mean, it's not like nearly as populous as it once was. Like you can tell that there's this town's done okay. Like it hasn't been completely demolished by the war, but you can occasionally see like buildings that have been, hit in some way and collapsed. But for the most part, this town's relatively intact, but the population definitely seems a lot less than it once was. You know what I mean? Like you would imagine there were once more people living here. And, you'll see some people on horseback. You see a BTR 70 in here. And you see some poles, like, at that, basically. Like one of theirs. And so you'll see some guys that are military, some, people in civilian clothes. And he leads you in, and he leads you to this building. He's like, "Come with me." And the guy that's there is the guard, like opens it up and lets you in. And he leads you in and to this room as soon as you go through this door. And it's kind of like a larger building in the center of town. And there's like this waiting area, like once you go past the door inside. And he's like, "Have a seat here. You'll be in shortly." And he closes the door. And you look around, and like the room's pretty barren for the most part. You know what I mean? Like it's like if it were the U.S., it'd be like wood panel walls. You know what I mean? Like you're in an old government building. I don't know if the Soviets did that. I imagine they didn't, but it's like it feels like an old like government building. Like it had a purpose, and that was a government building. And you could tell from the signs that this is pretty much like a city hall. That's what this is. And there's like old chairs sitting there, and you're kind of like sitting on this chair, and you hear the door open, and this older gentleman walks in, and you recognize him. And we cut away. We see a large banquet hall, and we see a bunch of people celebrating, and you can hear music in the background. There's a live band. There's like accordions and brass instruments, and it's a fucking wedding, right? And you can see them. They have people lifted up, the couple lifted up on the chairs, kind of like in Deer Hunter, have them lifted up on chairs, and everyone's dancing around. And we see the same man. He's got a drink in his hand. He's wearing a suit, right? And he goes walking up to Maric. He says, "Mr. Novak, how are you doing tonight?"
I'm doing very well, Mr. Grubich. I'm very well. And Maric, his cummerbund is askew and his tie's kind of undone, and he looks like he's had a few too many.
Yeah. So, hey, bring us some more drinks. And he like motions over to this waiter to go get some more beer, and like brings over some more beer and some more liquor of some sort, like vodka, basically, and has them bringing it over. So this young couple, right, they're picked a strange time in the world to get married, but I guess you never know the way the world's gonna be.
Love should wait for nothing. It should be every day. You have to take the chance when you can. Now, I admit I was not so very impressed, with there is reputation with your family, but she is happy, so it's,
But I mean, now we're family, so we're all family.
But now we are family, yes.
We're family.
This is why, I was reluctant to agree.
Families, we stick together, and now
yeah,
our family's bigger, my family's bigger, your family's bigger.
Yes, now we are family, and bigger is better, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. And you're still a police officer in Krakow, right?
Yeah, I've been on the force for, oh my god. I think, how old, Amelia is now 19 years, I think I've been on the force, yeah.
19 years, yeah. What, where are you? I mean, I'm imagining you're not like a beat cop now.
No, I have not been a beat cop for years. I am a detective now. Yeah.
Oh, like homicide or white collar crimes?
Well, for now,
blue collar crimes.
It's been a little mix. I did some time in homicide, but am now in theft, in burglary. Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. So, there's a friend of our family, in Krakow, who's having some problems.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Is it?
There's
health?
some.
Or
No. There are. I mean, to be quite honest, there are some people that are, you know as well as I do that there are less than honest people in all organizations, including, in the police department, per se, right? And there's a certain group within your police department that kind of has it out for a friend of mine, a friend of our family. And,
your friend, does he have a name?
Does he have a name? Yeah, and his name is Valentine. He's actually right over there. And it's just, some of the other police officers for some reason have it out for him. He's been to prison, but it was the Soviets, that threw him in prison for, and you know that they trump stuff up all the time. They make things up, but he's just trying to make an honest living now, and they just keep bringing up these things, and they would, if maybe
this Valentine.
Yeah.
And Maric looks across the hall, and he sees Valentine, and he sees one tattoo on his neck and another on his hands, and immediately recognizes them. You want me to do what with this man? I'm sorry, I've had much to drink, and the music is very loud. What do you need with this man?
All I need is just keep an eye on him. Not keep an eye on him, like investigate him, find out what he's doing, but just, look after him. That's all I'm saying. Just help keep him out of trouble.
You want me to look after this man that has been clearly a part of organizations that should not be outside of prisons? I
mean, you work in law enforcement. People have to make do in prisons. They don't, you know, just to get out, just to survive.
No, I don't know. Because you do not need to... A man that would kowtow to that is a man with no integrity. Why would I look out for this man?
As I said, he's a friend of the family.
He's a friend of your family.
Yes, and we are family.
Are we? Because I would never ask you to step outside of your bounds.
Not asking you to step outside your bounds, just, you know, let him walk by. That's all I'm asking for. Just
You
let
want
him...
me to let him walk by? I don't know what this man is up to, but I know it is not good.
Then don't worry about it. You just let him walk by.
That's it. That's it. This marriage is over. Amelia! And he goes off and...
What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you mean this marriage is over?
No, it's over. You are not the family we should be marrying into.
And you see the son come over and it's like, hey, whoa, sir,
No.
sir, what do you, sir?
Boy,
sir, please
you need
settle
to
down.
get out of my way.
I'm
Your father-
You've had entirely too much to drink, sir.
Get out of my way, son. You will not stop me from getting my daughter.
Sir, you've had too much to drink. Please back off.
He takes a swing.
Bam! And he hits the kid right in the face and drops him to the ground. And Mr. Grubik comes over and, like, a couple of his buddies come over and, like, grab a hold of Maric and start taking him to the door. One of those guys is Valentine. And we just see Valentine, like, lift Maric up off the ground and starts taking him outside. And we cut away.
Nice callback.
Thank you. I thought you'd appreciate that.
Now the wheels are spinning. We're accidental random things, not as accidental random as we first did.
This was fun. That was nice. I liked that. So we go back out and we see LT and the sun's starting to set. And it's getting to the end of that evening shift. So he's going to head back to the camp, I'm assuming, towards the camp. Roll a recon roll, see if you can find it.
See if we can find it. What the hell?
I'm just fucking with you. No, you know where the camp is. I was
I was going to say.
Oh, that would have been so good.
He got 2 successes. I mean, you were off looking at ditches, like, and you weren't even on watch. You were just looking around the side of the road. That would have been really funny. Somebody was like, "What the fuck?"
I totally bloodhound myself.
The literal John Travolta meme. Jeff, where he's just like in a cornfield.
And you get back over to the camp, and Murph and Emmett are just finishing up, like, concealing their little area.
Murph, you want to rack out? I can keep an eye out, and then you two can catch them shut eye, and I'll sleep on the next shift.
Sounds like a plan. I'll take a little shut eye.
Yeah, it's up to you. If you
Might as well
want
get it
first
while we
one.
can.
Yeah, I'll take first watch. Hopefully he makes it back sooner rather than later.
All right, just wake me up when you're ready.
Weatherman, weather roll.
3, nothing happens.
Still cloudy. All right, so Emmett, you are on watch, right? And the other 2 are racking out.
Yes.
All right, roll me a recon roll.
2 and a 3.
Okay. Seems quiet. Nothing seems to happen at all. Everything's just fine. And, okay. And we cut back into that waiting room, and we see Maric and Mr. Grubik, and Mr. Grubik sits down. He's like, Mr. Novak, I haven't seen you in quite some time.
It's been a couple years.
I believe the last time was the wedding.
Yeah. How is Amelia?
She's good. She's good. So what are you doing here?
I came for my daughter. There's nothing left for me in Cracovia. Jan is dead. My wife is gone. And all I have left is Amelia. So I'm here for my daughter.
He sits down in one of the other chairs there and kind of leans back. He's like, well, you mean my son's wife, is what you're saying.
She is still my blood.
She is.
Whatever marriage law is, she is still my daughter.
Marriage law? This was her choice to marry my son. The man that she loves, the man who you assaulted on his wedding day.
I did. It was not the boy's fault. I should not have struck him. But I would still love to see my daughter.
He leans back and, like, squint at Maric. Roll a persuasion roll. Let's do this. This is fun. All right. Hold on. Let's figure out the positives and the negatives on this one.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the insane number of negatives I'm about to get.
Hold on. Social encounters.
Yeah.
All right. You have more people on your side.
Nope.
What you ask for doesn't cost your opponent anything. Nope. Nope. Your opponent has suffered damage or stress. No. Your opponent is sick. No. Your opponent is held captive by you. I'm going to give him a bonus on that one.
He also gets a bonus because I took stress.
Yeah. You outrank your opponent. No. All right. Yep. I know where he's at. Okay. This is going to be fun. Yours is flat, Jeremy.
Mine's flat. I don't even get
yours is
negatives.
flat.
It's just he gets bonuses.
Yeah, let's just call it flat. Let's just call it flat for fun. For shits and giggles.
For funsies.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. We're all friends here, right?
Yeah.
I still really want to know what Adam's definition of fun is. I don't really like it.
I got an 8 and a 4.
I also got one success.
I would
Do you want to push the roll?
100%.
All right.
You know what? I'm going to burn a coin.
And he looks at you.
Wait, I don't
Wait,
need to
why?
burn a coin.
You don't need
Why would I
to.
burn a
You're just
coin?
rolling a 4.
I'm thinking about... Never mind.
Uh-huh. And he looks at you, and he's like, you want to see your daughter. And why do I owe you this favor?
For clarification, I re-rolled the 4 and got a 1. So I take a point of stress. It's not a favor. It's just the right thing to do. I have nothing to offer you in return. But I haven't spoken to Amelia in... What has it been? 3 years?
Come with me. And he, like, walks over to the other side of the room. And you can see that there's a window, and there's, like, a curtain. Right? And he pulls the curtain back. And, like, points. He's like, do you see that house there?
I do.
Look in the window by the kitchen. That is Amelia. And this, you motherfucker, is the closest you will get to seeing your daughter. You are lucky I am letting you leave with your life. And that is just because my son loves your daughter.
Any pride or bearing that Maric had just falls out of him. And you can just see his shoulders slump. And he knows that he has nothing, no recourse at this moment. There's nothing he can do.
And Grubik lets go of the curtain and it closes. Hey! And he, like, yells out and you see the door open. And a couple men come in. He's like, take him out of town. When they come in, beside Maric, come with us. And the two men, they each put a hand on either shoulder of Maric's.
He doesn't even resist.
And they walk him towards the door.
He's just beaten.
And as you go outside, like, you can tell, like, the sun has set, and you can see some fires around town. Like, you'll see a barrel over here, and you'll see a group of people, and you can hear them laughing over in the corner. Like, there's a group of people, they got, like, rifles slung over their shoulder, and you can hear them laughing and joking around with each other. And there's, like, some horses. And you look down the street a little ways past them, and you see another small group of people standing around, and there's another man there with a robe on, and he's preaching to this group of people in the middle of the street. And from the things that he is saying, it sounds very much like shepherd's flock type stuff. And we see all this as they're walking Maric out of town, back towards the checkpoint.
The whole time he's leaving, he keeps turning back, trying to catch one last glance at the house.
And it was like on the other side of the building, so it's just like you could just see like the top of the house over the building. Like what would be like the top of the second story.
Poor Maric.
That was that point of stress. It was like, all right, I guess we got to play this up. And then they get to the checkpoint, and you see the other three there waiting for you. And as you walk up, roll me a recon roll.
Modifiers?
Just recon roll, flat.
Okay. A 4 and a 2. He's in another world right now. He's as they're moving him along, he's just spinning in his head about everything he's lost.
Mm-hmm. And we see, you walk up and you see
Felix?
Felix. Yes, Felix. I was like, wait, who was it? Felix. You see Felix there, and he's like, is everything okay, Mr. Novik?
What?
Is everything okay?
Yeah, we will find no safety here. Gather your things. We should go.
And again, we see a group on horseback riding back into town. And we see Maric and Felix and Patricia and Emil headed back south down the road. In that dim light, we can see still those people up on the crucifixes on your way out of town. And that large ditch full of a bunch of bodies. And you guys are going out. I should make you roll a recon roll to find the camp.
No. Absolutely.
But I don't really, that seems stupid. Because you guys might have picked a location. You know what I mean? Been like, we're going to be here.
Well, and that's what we tried to do was we're going to be at the T.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
This is where we're headed. We'll be here.
Yeah.
If not, we'll be there.
But it's just Emmett rolled nothing on a recon roll. You roll.
I opened fire.
Adam, the book says witnessing a massacre is 3 points of stress. So,
You didn't witness a massacre. You saw bodies.
all right, that's fair.
Yeah, this could have happened one at a time.
That's very magnanimous.
I know why they're there. You just know there's bodies. That's all you know. And I'm going to say by the end of the night shift, you are actually able to make it back to the camp. By the time you get there.
Maric is beat. He is physically and emotionally just drained. The thing he had left, moving him forward, that glimmer of hope that he had, is stripped from him at this point. It's the worst thing to accomplish your big dream, especially when it doesn't pan out. So he just comes into the camp, makes brief eye contact with Captain Emmett and whoever else is on watch, and just nods to them and goes to find a place to lay down. He's suddenly very, very tired.
It is now the 21st. Kyle, roll me a weather roll.
2, nothing happened.
Still cloudy. But it's morning, so you guys see the sky start to get brighter. What is your guys' plan for the morning?
Sleep.
Yeah, Emmett's going to rack out. Murph should take a watch. And then I would say, yeah, the other 3 that went into town should also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they sleep too, so.
I will read my book of poetry.
I mean, technically, it's a bunch of, like, excerpts from philosophical stuff, but, I mean,
I will read my experts of philosophical stuff.
Experts?
Excerpts.
Why don't you do weapons maintenance? That always works out for you.
I flipped a coin. It was one or the other.
Kyle, roll me a... You know what? Here's the thing. I'm not 100% sure on what this should be, because this is a skill that's not necessarily covered in the rule set, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make up a different rule.
I love
So
it.
I'm going to do. What's your intelligence?
My intelligence is a B.
Okay, roll 2 Bs.
Oh, like grenades or explosives.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Or not 2 Bs.
It's like it's not really covered by a specific skill, so we're just going to use 2 of the base die for the attribute.
That makes sense.
Yep.
An 8 and a 7.
All right. So you're flipping along and you're reading through and you're like, little bits and pieces of, Camus and like his general philosophy of absurdism and existentialism and all these things. And you're kind of going, and all of a sudden you get to a part and you're like, that's not Camus. Like, you're like, is this Through the Looking Glass? Like the sequel to Alice in Wonderland, right?
Yeah.
Like you're like, it's the I think it's the walrus thing is like from the Through the Looking Glass. There's like bits and pieces, and you're like, wait, this is Through the Looking Glass. Like this, like you just start catching some spots that are from that instead of like normal Camus things. But the same thing, like you'll see like a couple parts where things are misspelled. Things are misspelled here. Things are misspelled there, and it'll just be like one letter off here, one letter off there. And for some reason, as you're going, you notice that there's a letter here that's misspelled and a word here that's misspelled and another one. And when you start doing that, you're like, wait, this is spelling something. Like the misspelled letters are starting to spell out in French something else. Like it's like coded, written in it. Like the actual misspellings are the things that are the message, essentially. So
That's a pretty cool cipher.
Yeah.
That's and what it is it's actually like numbers, right? Like it's giving you numbers, and you're like, wait a minute, wait, and it's like in French still, like those numbers written out in French. And as you start going through the book, and you're like, wait a minute, these are coordinates. These are the coordinates that these X's are at, right? And so you're kind of going through and you realize there's a cipher happening in this book, basically. Some kind of code. And it might take a little bit more digging into, but if you start spending time on it, you might be able to.
Gotcha. So, I'll flip towards the back. There's a couple of blank pages. And I'll start kind of making my own notes, decoding what I can, kind of writing what I think's going of it, comparing it to, because I took my version of the map back.
Right.
Seeing what I can find.
All right, so we got LT over there decoding shit. And Emmett is sleeping?
Sleeping.
Right? Maric is sleeping, and Murph is up on watch. Murph, roll me a recon roll.
Okie dokie. 9 and a 4. 1 success.
You look over and you can kind of see the road from where you are, and you see a group of people on horseback and a BTR come south down that road and start heading west. It's about 20 in total, if you were to estimate how many people are probably in the BTR.
He makes himself very small.
But they keep driving by and seem to have not noticed y'all.
Tries to do a count. Horses, BTR, you said 20. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And which direction they're going? You said south. Okay.
Well, they came south out of town and then headed west.
Then headed west.
Along the
okay.
T.
Yep. Do we... I guess I'm going to ask Maric this when he comes, or when I talk to him. Do we have a rough estimation of how many members there are of Shepherd's Flock? It's just this clueless... Could be 100,000, could be 1,000, could be 50.
They walk single file to hide their numbers.
Yeah. I mean, this looked like about 20 in this group just now, so...
No, I got you. And then the ones we ran across before, and the ones we ran across before.
Right.
Just wondering how quickly this is spreading.
Mm-hmm. I'm relabeling these X's, by the way, for you, Kyle,
Thank you.
as something different.
BX.
A, B, and C is what I've relabeled them as.
Ah, that's awesome. Okay.
All right, so, Kyle, based upon, as you're going through and you start kind of piecing it together, and you got like 2 successes on that, so I'm going to give you quite a bit of information on it. So not only do you notice it, but you're spending a whole like shift, like digging into this, and most of it's already been done, right? Like most of the work has already been done. Like you're like, okay, this one locates A, this one locates B, and this one here where it's talking about Alice locates C, right? So C is where Alice is. I probably should label that A, but I don't care. But anyway, when it's talking about the plague, and it talks about like Alice through the looking glass, like here. When it's talking about the plague, like the book, The Plague by Albert Camus, you start getting like an azimuth, essentially. Like it's like a direction that you would travel and distance, right? And this is really just me being like, I'm not going to actually make a code for you to have to fucking look at. I'm just giving you what it actually translates into.
Okay.
Because I'm not a cryptologist or whatever the fuck it's called. So there's some fucking crazy code shit happening here. Anyway, what you get is southwest and 80 kilometers. So you have these 3 locations. C kind of seems to be related to Alice, right? And then southwest 80 kilometers.
Southwest?
Southwest 80 kilometers.
That's bananas.
I'm just fervently reading and taking notes and just really kind of in my own world trying to figure out all this information, and I'm excited. But anybody I'd talk to about this is still asleep.
Yeah, because Murph too, right? Murph, that's about the only thing you noticed during the shift was those people riding by and headed south and then west along the T, along the road.
Once we're up, I'll discuss it with the other guys once they're awake.
Yeah, and then the morning shift goes by, and we're into the daytime. Kyle, roll me a weather roll.
Weather roll. A 5.
Still fucking cloudy. What do you guys want to do?
As I see Captain Emmett wake up, I would kind of wander over him, still book just holding it in my hand. He goes, and I'll go, hey, okay. I know you just woke up.
Yeah.
But this is so fascinating. Like, I thought this was just a fun little book of French. There's some poetry in here. There's a little bit of storytelling, a little bit. No. This is a secret ciphered notes, all pertaining to our mystery locations. So
So
I don't know who
the
we
X is
got
on the
this
map?
book off of. Yes. But they're specifically different locations with different meanings and whole different aspects. And there's a specific one that's referenced as Alice. And it seems to be the one that I have found the most information on. And then there's an additional coordinate structure from that to a location that I don't believe is marked that seems like probably the coup de grace of all of this. So I know I've sound like a broken record where I think we need to check these things out and everything, but there's definitely something here, and I'm definitely on the trail of figuring out there's something major going on here, and I mean major.
Like, this isn't like something like past tense. This wasn't something that went along with reset that, you know what I mean, has fallen through, or
Somebody went to great lengths to make sure this information was hidden, but also went to great lengths to make sure that this information was written down because it was required and necessary.
when we found it, it was in transit to the Brit, so it's not like he had this information prior to reset.
Yes, and I know we talked about this top location here, this what I'll say is our Bravo location, but I think the most southern location is the one that has a little bit more to it that I'd like to check out. But it is, again, a long haul and a lot going on here. But this could be a key to a lot of things, and it sounds like the Russians are interested in this. It sounds like the Shepherds are interested in this. It sounds like the British are interested in this, which means probably NATO is interested in this. Again, I know just enough to get us in a lot of trouble here, but
No, I mean, it's really the only lead we got going right now. I mean, we don't know where our people were headed. I mean, the trail for Keanu's gone cold. Maric, are you sticking around here, or?
I meant to talk to you about that, Captain.
I don't know what happened in town, but I could tell when you came back out here. Something had changed, and I'm not one to pry, so. But we're getting ready to move, so I didn't know if you were coming with us or not.
I'm not one to pry either, but just out of curiosity, as I was sitting here, I was putting things together. This town seems to be shepherd's flockish, or so. And then you also said your daughters. Is your daughter one of those cultists?
She is a woman in love, is what she is. She has found her husband. She has found her person, and she was staying with him.
So, you know quite a bit about these shepherd's flock people because that's your child in there.
No, I don't know very much about them, but I am intrigued by this book that you have. These puzzles in the book.
Yes, I mean the cipher goes down. It was well hidden, but just based on the way it just popped for me. And there's coordinates that point to these same locations. There's an additional hidden message in there with an additional structure of a direction and
Okay.
and a distance on that direction.
Can I see this book?
Yeah. Let me show you what I figured out here. Let's go through this. And I'll hand him the book and then kind of just like do the thing where I just kind of point over him and just, hey, okay, so this is this. And I feel this here.
Does Maric speak French?
No, but that doesn't mean he can't recognize patterns.
So you see here, this is misspelled. So and I thought it was just an anomaly. Like, okay, this guy isn't really French and he's just kind of screwing this up. But no, it was intentionally. And then you notice that just like every couple paragraphs, there's a specific misspelling and it became this. So then this, okay, so you put this together and it's numerical. I don't know if you speak, French, un, deux, trois kind of thing, but, This is how we get, I found a number sequence in here. And so, here, let me show you my math. Here's this. And I take it to the back page where I've got things kind of ciphered out.
We cut away. And we see a chain, like, hanging down. And we see legs, right? Like someone's walking. And we can just see this chain, like, and we see a padlock hanging off of this chain. And we would tilt up, and we see that same Soviet that Maric had let go. And he kind of stops, and he looks around. And all of a sudden we hear, "Ka!" He drops to the ground. Some time goes by, and we hear footsteps. And we hear like the sound of a knife cutting into flesh and tearing flesh off of bone. And we see that Soviet hanging upside down up in a tree. And then we see Rose.
Oh, snap. Rose is a cannibal. Oh, my gosh. Murphy Boy's a man-eater.
Watch out, boys. He'll chew you up. Whoa, here he comes. If you or someone you love is struggling with combat-related PTSD, please call 877-717-7873. Again, that number is 877-717-PTSD. Or you can visit online ptsdusa.org. That's PTSD Foundation of America. If you call, you will be immediately connected to a combat veteran who understands those experiences. And if you go to the website, they have in-person groups scattered throughout the United States. And if there isn't a peer group near you, they have online peer groups. Again, that's PTSD Foundation of America. If you're struggling, you don't have to go it alone.